She was named by Time magazine in 2018 as one of the 100 most influential people in the world. And in April last year, she received the Freedom from Want Award. She continues breaking many taboos to bring the necessary shift in culture, behavior and beliefs, and is committed to change from within local communities. At a young age, she's already changing the lives of girls and young women across the continent, and she keeps inspiring many, many more. In September 2021, she published her first book, The Girls in the Wild Fig Tree, How I Fought to Save Myself, my sister, and thousands of girls worldwide. Give her a big round of applause. Here is Nice Nailantei Leng.
Dear colleagues in the fight against female genital mutilation, Lilian Pluma, it's good to see you again, and thank you for always doing this for our girls and women. So I think first I would like to start to share with you my experience and why I joined the movement to end female genital mutilation, because it's a very important topic to me. So I am from southern part of Kenya. I grew up in the Maasai community. Probably for some of you, you know about the community. I think we are known for having one of the most beautiful culture with great traditions, but at the same time we also have traditions that are not really good to the health and education of our girls. And my journey started at the age of 8 years old, because I lost my parents at the age of 7, and now I had to go and live with my grandfather because we did not have anyone to take care of us. But even before, at the age of 8, my mother would wake me up as early as 4 a.m. to go and witness other girls when they're undergoing female genital mutilation. Because remember, in my culture, there are things you're not supposed to do while you're undergoing female genital mutilation. And one of them is crying or moving your body or your eyes. You are called a coward, or sometimes there is no man from that community who is going to marry you. So that's why your parents will wake you up to go and witness how strong other girls are, so that when your time comes, you don't shame your family, but you become strong. And out of the many ceremonies I attended as a young girl, I saw death because of circumcision. I saw these young girls' dreams being taken away, because for us in my community, circumcision is a rite of passage from girlhood to womanhood. But in many other communities, you know, it's always different. So for us, FGM is linked to child marriage. That's why you're circumcised first for you to be ready to be married. As much as you're 7 or 10 or 12 years, it depends with the time that circumcision has happened to you. And many of these girls I saw, remember, some of them were girls I was in school together, cousins, neighbors, and it was not easy for me. I always said I want to change, but at the same time I wanted to get an education. And I think by seeing my friends undergoing that, I said I need to fight for myself so that I have time to fight for these girls. But it was not easy for me at that time, because remember, we didn't have laws, and that time FGM was done openly and people would organize for big ceremonies. So I went to my grandfather's place, and when I was 8 years, it was time for me to join my 3 cousins who were supposed to undergo the cut. We wake up at 4 a.m. because that's when the cut normally happens. You have to shower with cold water that has slept outside for 2 days. And the cold water is supposed to act as anesthesia. Remember, there's no injection that they are giving you. So we woke up with my sister. We were already talking together on how education is important, how we want to continue with their education. But it was not easy to convince our family. But already we had identified a tree outside our uncle's place. We went there, hide in a tree, and when the group of young warriors and the circumcisers were coming, we could see them. But again, we couldn't walk out because it's late at night. They are wild animals. They might also find us, and that way probably they will do it forcibly to us. So we stayed there until there was light. Then we came down and walked for more than 15 kilometers to our mother's sister's place. But already our 3 cousins have been circumcised, and they were also ready for marriage. So after a week, our uncle realized that we were there, and a group of men together with our uncle came, and we were beaten and threatened, and we had to promise that next time we'll not run away, but we'll proceed with the card. So we came back to our grandfather's place. Schools were open. We went back to school. At the same time, again, after closing school, another ceremony was organized. And again, we went to our uncle's place, woke up at the same time, and I remember telling my sister, we still need to run away for our rescue. Even if it's 100 or 1,000 times, because that's the only way we can come and change so that it does not happen to our younger sisters or other sisters. And my sister told me, Nice, see, we can't be running away every time. We ran away the other time, we were beaten and threatened. Maybe if we do it again, they will do something forcibly to us or something worse. But I told my sister, we still need to run too. So my sister told me, because you are younger than me, let me stay, because my sister was 3 years, I was 3 years younger than my sister. So you just go, maybe they will allow you to get an education. It was very difficult for me, because I was thinking, if she remains back, what if she dies after her circumcision? And even if she will not die, I knew at that early age my sister will not be able to go back to school, because she's now considered a woman. She will be married off at that early age. So I went to the same tree because she promised me she will not tell anyone, and my sister remained back. And I think when I was in that tree, it was very difficult for me, because I knew, it will not be the same again. I will not be in school with her. But if I went back again, they will also do it forcibly to me. So it was very difficult for me thinking about my sister in that tree, and I was thinking of how I could save her, but I couldn't. And my sister sacrificed herself so that I get an education. And she was not lucky. She got circumcised and married at the age of 13. And it was very difficult for me since that time, because I kept on asking myself, maybe I would have helped her, but I couldn't. And it was very difficult for me as a young girl growing up in that community, because I was seen as a bad example, a girl who ran away, disrespected her family. So I decided now I will not go to my mother's place, to my mother's sister's place, and I decided to go to school and stay with my teacher. And I stayed for 2 years without going back home. But at the end of the day, I remembered also school is not my home. At the end of the day, I have to go and talk to my community. So I went and tried convincing my grandfather that I need more time, I'm still young, so that I can get time to stay in school. And I remember running away many times, until one point I told my grandfather I would run away, never come back, or even become a street child, because I was trying to explain to him how education is important and it's the only solution that we have. And finally my grandfather agreed to support me, and that's when he called my uncles and other leaders, and he said, let's allow her, whenever she's ready, she will come and tell us she's ready for circumcision. But because it's not something I wanted, I saw the pain it has caused to the community and my friends and cousins and neighbors. I have never gone back to say I wanted it, because I knew that is not what I wanted. And because of the sacrifice that my sister did, I said I cannot keep quiet. I couldn't do it for her, but it doesn't mean I have to keep quiet. I have other sisters all over Africa. I have sisters all over the world. I have sisters all over Kenya, because we all know it's not a Kenyan issue, it's not an African issue, it's a global issue. Even here in the Europe, it's a problem. And that's how I decided to stand up and now do something for other girls, because I never wanted to see any girl undergoing what my sister Soila underwent. And we all know that every year we still have over 3 million girls in Africa who are still at risk of undergoing female genital mutilation. We have another 200 million women globally, girls and women, who have already experienced the CAD. And as she was saying, it's not only about saving or protecting the ones who have not undergone the CAD, but also taking care of the survivors. The girls and women who have already experienced the CAD, because they too have a future, and I think it's our role to support all of them. If you look at female genital mutilation, and that's what we've been working together with Amrefeld Africa, is to really support communities through the alternative rites of passage, which we felt in the Maasai community, it's one of the ways of ending female genital mutilation. And we are simply saying in the Maasai culture, our culture, the way we are dressed, our beautiful beads, and the way we live, because I think it's the only culture that you are taught to share whatever small that you have. It's the only culture that I know that teaches you unity and love when you're growing up. And I think those are great lessons that people can learn from that community. So that is a culture that is not taking away who we are, and it's not really affecting us. But a culture that has no meaning, a culture because that we all know that female genital mutilation is not just a physical cut. It's a cut of their dreams and ambitions. It's a cut on their human rights. It's a cut on their rights to health. It's a cut on their education because it's affecting them. They are becoming women when they are still children and they are being married, and that means they are not able to get an education. You know, it's a cut of their rights to life and free from fear. And we felt that if we can embrace the beautiful part of our culture and replace what is harmful, maybe it's the way to end FGM. And also it's about education, and I think we all agree that investment in education when it comes to ending any form of gender-based violence is very important. And I'm not saying education for girls is what is important only, even education for boys, both girls and boys, it's important because they too, the boys in future will become fathers. It's important for them to also know how they are going to protect their daughters. They too have sisters. And I think because of also at a theme for this year on zero tolerance to end FGM, I think the role of men when it comes and boys to ending FGM is really quite important. And I think it's high time we don't see men as enemies of change but allies of change. Because we need, and I'm happy in this room that I've seen a good number of men, I will say, and I think we need to really continue having these conversations when they are, when they are also part of it. They have daughters, they have sisters, and I think once we continue working together like this, it's the only way we'll be able to bring female genital mutilation to an end by 2030. I know we have a long way to go, but by us continuing to having forums like this one that is happening today, and many more, and talking, because we believe in dialogues, I think it's the way to go. Thank you, and I will end with the words of one of my favorite African leaders who said education is an important weapon to change the world, right? And that is Nelson Mandela. So as we try to address this, let us always remember to continue investing in girls and boys' education. Thank you.